I just did have a couple notes jotted down that I want to share with you. So here we go. As I said, this was our 5-course meal. This was the second course of it. And as we get going here and see the next meeting is when we'll get into the numbers into a little bit greater depth than we'll talk about tonight. So at the next meeting, we're going to talk curriculum and instruction numbers, special ed, BOCES, athletics, op and maintenance, transportation fund balance, and revenues. And that'll bring us to April 4th, where we will present the superintendent's proposed budget to you at that time. On the agenda tonight is the approval of, the nominating petitions. We'll review them. They will be available tomorrow. April 19th, the board will adopt the proposed 22-23 budget hearing May 9th, and the budget vote Tuesday, May 17th. These are a review of last year, so I'm going to kind of of last week, so I'm going to jump through them. This is, when you hear about the 2% tax cap, this is what they are referring to. That is the allowable levy growth factor, the allowable growth factor. So at this point, CPIU is at 4.7%. However, the state caps it at 2% and does not allow that factor of the tax cap calculation to go beyond 2%. We do know that the teachers' retirement system rate is ticking up a little bit next year. We also know that the employee ERS system rate is going to go down a little bit. Now, also, we do know our pilot agreements, and we do know that health insurance is going to see a significant increase next year as well. Unknown, like I said last time, state aid, while we're projecting a significant increase, nothing is set in stone until the legislature approves their budget by April 1st. We do have 5 unsettled contracts, BCTA, BCAA, SRP, CSEA, and nutritional. Right now, the annual review meetings for special ed are ongoing, and our BOCES administration costs. Here we're just going to kind of bring everybody back to the goals one more time. The board goals are increase student achievement, attract and retain a knowledgeable and dedicated staff, serve as the cornerstone of the community, and maintain and improve the facilities to support goals 1 through 3. Our BC values: safety, mental health, social and emotional learning, future-ready schools facilities, and future-ready schools for curriculum and instruction. On behalf of safety, one thing that we are hopeful to not only get in place for the rest of this year to kind of support our high school would be professionally trained security guards that can provide us just another level of security down there. This is an idea that's been kicked around for a while. We're kind of getting into the weeds of it now, so we hope to be able to make a proposal to you at some point in the near future. COVID protocol, my feeling now is it's just going to be part of normal. I think we're going to go into next year, and then we're going to see what happens. We were talking today, this period between Halloween and Super Bowl may just be our period going forward where we're going to have to deal with whatever COVID protocols are in place. Data privacy, it's another big thing that districts are trying to work hard to be compliant in. Districts are trying to work toward being compliant with the NIST standards. I do not know what that stands for, but it's a technical term. Our Director of Technology, Chris Moore, and Director of Data, Tammy Coleman, are working primarily in that area with a group of other school districts at BOCES. Cybersecurity, as you know, this is a very big area, as we saw a couple of years ago in Monroe Woodbury, who you would think that if anybody in Orange County was not going to have a problem with cybersecurity, you would think it would be Monroe Woodbury. However, they were taken to their knees at the beginning of school year, which took them months to get back off the ground. So, as you know, when we had the comptroller's audit, their focus was on IT and security, and we just recently had an internal audit done focused on this area, and those results will be shared with the audit committee. We're going to get some information out soon for a meeting on the 21st. In regards to capital upgrades, as you know, the Walden Roof project was approved as part of the budget last year, along with that traffic safety and pool air quality referendum down at the high school. That includes the restroom facilities there. In-house facilities improvements. Again, I'll share some pictures of projects that have been done over the last year at the next board meeting. And just a few things that are on the list for in the budget to be approved for next year: sidewalk improvements, field improvements, the track and the tennis court need work. We're working with Chris Moore and his team in IT to try to address PA system improvements across the district that we need. Fire alarm system improvements that we need in almost all the buildings here. So a lot of things that we can do in-house doesn't necessarily mean with our own staff, but meaning that we can take care of these without building them into a larger capital project and borrowing money to pay for them. You want to talk a little bit about mental health, social emotional learning?
So as you all know, and everyone's been talking about this year, especially that children's social and emotional health has been affected by COVID more than anything else. And so some of these things have been in our budgets in previous years, and they're going to continue to be in them. Yale Ruler was something that we started a couple of years before COVID began, and basically it's an evidence-based program that comes out of Yale University to approach social and emotional learning. It's important for us to understand the value of our emotions and build the skills of emotional intelligence and create and maintain a positive school climate. So Zella is actually part of this initiative as well. We have Yale Ruler teams in all of the 7 buildings, and they do a variety of professional development. We work with the kids on things like mood meters so that when they walk into a classroom, they can identify how they're feeling at that time. It's a great way for teachers to be able to see pretty much like the climate of what's going on. If a child is in the green or the blue for a couple of days in a row, they may pull that child aside and talk to them. There's also a family component that we are hoping to roll out in the 22-23 school year. We have Erin's Law. That was a new initiative that came about in 2019. It became law that we needed to start teaching in K-12. Erin's Law requires us to teach child sexual abuse and exploitation prevention. One of the things we did with that is we partnered with BOCES who were creating lessons in Erin's Law. We are part of that consortium, so we have access to those lessons, but this will include training for all of our student assistance counselors and the time and the materials to build lessons. Our Check and Connect program is currently taking place at the high school and the middle school. This is also another research-based program where it helps children that are at risk of dropping out of high school. So they each get a mentor, and they work with them individually, and they have to input data around their attendance, around their grades, around their discipline, to see if the interventions that the mentors are putting in place with all of these at-risk children are working. And also we have our Safe School Ambassadors that was here before COVID. We hope to bring that back next year, where that's a program where students are trained for anti-bullying prevention. Our Rachel's Challenge is something that the high school, the middle school and high school principals have asked to bring back. We've had this year in the past. You know that we're putting a lot of effort into our developmentally and culturally inclusive instruction, a lot of training that's taking place, a lot of materials, books that are being purchased. Inspiring Comfort, I talked a little bit about this before. We have a program at the middle school now, and we have trained, I'm actually a certified Inspiring Comforter, as is Greg Heidemann and a couple of our other administrators, and really it talks about moving beyond just empathy and compassion, and actually how you develop connections with people that are lasting and ongoing, because really healing takes place not always when you're just being mindful and thinking of yourself and meditating, which are good things for stress relief, but really the healing takes place when we're helping other people to heal. Crisis intervention training, we'd like to increase that. There is de-escalation techniques that we can use before we have to go to physical intervention. So we are really working with our staff to make sure that we know how to de-escalate. Restorative practices, we're sending more and more administrators to restorative practice training. We would like to bring someone here to the buildings to be doing training. The big problem that we're coming across right now, as every other district, is that we cannot find substitutes. So we would like to do large all-at-once trainings, but we're not capable of doing that at this point because of the fact that we don't have staffs. Our ongoing support for our mental health curriculum. I know that you all know that a few years before COVID, we incorporated a 9th grade mental health curriculum. We have a mental health room at the high school where children participate in lots of different techniques. We are pushing that into the middle school as well. You approved a middle school mental health curriculum not too long ago, and this is also going to support our before and after school programs. The future ready schools and facilities, that's you.
Yeah. So the next, as I mentioned, the building condition survey is done. The next step of that will be to develop a long-term 5-year facilities plan. So we're looking forward to getting to that. One of the things we are doing is monitoring the residential new construction in the area. So specifically, the development going up out in the Coldenham area. There is a proposed development off of Coldenham Road in the Walden area. And then there's also a development in the works on 52 heading out of Walden, kind of in the area of the old Amthor building in there. So in those fields across the street, there's a large amount of homes that are being proposed in that area. Now, as we are kind of keeping an eye on any new construction coming forward, had some numbers today from Mr. Canino down in Montgomery. So currently in kindergarten, we have 69 students enrolled in kindergarten in Montgomery. As of right now, for next year, he has 94 registered. So I kind of caught us by a little bit of surprise. Don't know exactly how to read into that, but Mass says people want to be here, and I think John's been saying that for a while. People want to come to Valley Central and be part of what we're doing here because there's a lot of good things going on. So that's something we're going to have to keep in mind going forward. In-house facilities upgrades, I kind of mentioned that. Smart Schools Bond Act, that was phase 1, which we talked a little bit before, the security part of that, which we did put on hold. We are going to get that going again soon if it has not started yet. Phase 2 was the smart boards. That is complete. We have laid out all the Promethean boards. We laid out all the cash for that, which was pushing $1 million for the boards and the installation. We are still waiting on reimbursement for that. So another reason why, I know it's the boring side of the school district, but having your financial house in order is very, very important. E-rate is federal money that we can be using for back-end technology upgrades such as hardware, wiring, and servers. We have about $1,400,000 available to us right now, I believe. We are going to use that money to do a basic rip and replace of our wireless access points district-wide across the summer, or across the district this summer. So it'll help us modernize our wireless system. Wanted to mention a few things. Now, these projects are not did not go in front of the voters to borrow money to pay for them. These are what we are going to be able to do through the ARP and Carissa money. Ventilation improvements. We're going to do some ventilation work at the middle school. Most of that is going to be at Walden Elementary. And I know it may feel like we're putting the cart before the horse there. However, that is the building that we have identified in the greatest need of ventilation improvements. So we are going to sink some money into that building at this time. High school technology room, wood shop, and art room renovations. When those rooms come together, it's going to be pretty exciting to see what they look like and how they come out. Our outdoor learning spaces. So these will be spaces at each one of the buildings that we will be able to take a classroom or two out and have a covered area where they'll be able to hold class. And furniture upgrades across the district. We've been doing as much as we can as far as chairs and desks, and the model of having kids sit at a table. We've learned with COVID, it's important to have the flexibility where you can bring the desks together and then pull them back when you need to.
Plus, flexible seating.
Flexible seating. Next.
Okay. And the most exciting part, so the last circle is our future ready schools and curriculum and instruction. So we have been adding high interest electives, curriculum, materials, and equipment. two of the electives that you're going to hopefully approve tonight are 2 courses from the Carpenters Union, as well as the civics course at the middle school level. We also are adding an aviation elective. I met with the art teachers today to try to look at their curriculum and see what we're going to be doing in the future in that area. One of the things that we are looking at carefully is from K-12 to make sure that all of our electives and the different things that we're adding are vertically aligned so that we don't have overlap. We are increasing extracurricular opportunities at all levels. We created a club committee recently, for lack of a better word, to really look at our clubs more carefully and to determine whether or not students are actually involved in them. At the end of the year, we'll be looking at attendance, making sure that they're being utilized, and if not, adding different activities that they will be utilizing. Our work-based expansion program, the business department over at the high school is working to increase the internships in the community. The expansion of classroom and building libraries, this is a very small piece of it that you see, but a great deal of our textbook money and our different monies is used to purchase materials that are diverse, that our libraries are up to date, we use the books in the math and science and social studies as well. One thing we're very excited about is today's students, tomorrow's teachers. And the mission of today's students, tomorrow's teachers is to recruit, mentor, and train culturally diverse and economically challenged students from high school through college and place them as effective teachers and committed leaders who strengthen schools and communities. We're currently looking at that program. We need a commitment of 10 students. I think that the high school principal has recently told us that we're very close. We do have a club for children who are interested in teaching, so we're hoping to get some input from that club to make sure that we can make the commitment to the 10 students. We've been evaluating our curriculums to make sure that they are on point and that they are diverse and they are reflective of the students in the classrooms. As you saw, a little bit of what Zella showed you before were different courses that teachers were taking, targeted professional development, because we have people in every content area, every discipline that are at different levels. We have teachers that have been teaching for 20 years, 25 years, and teachers that have been teaching for 1. So we like to offer targeted professional development to all of our teachers so that they can take the courses that they think best meet their needs. The continuation of our STEAM initiative, and from K into 12, the materials that we're adding. I met with Charlotte Letts today to look at if there's any different type of technology that they need in the art. We've added, 3D printers, CNC machines, things that I can't even begin to tell you what they do, the huge printers, machines that actually use water to cut through the steel. So all of these things, it's not about just having something fancy and cool, which is what I was talking to Star about today. It's about when students leave the high school and go out into these fields, what type of equipment are they going to be expected to have knowledge about? And can we, as the Valley Central School District, provide them with opportunities to use that type of equipment? And also our 2022 summer program, which will be starting soon, which is a K, and actually it's a pre-K through 12 summer school program. We have a great deal of interest in that, and then our summer enrichment program. So we're very excited about that and I'm hoping to be able to offer 20, that's our goal, 20 workshops this summer. So that's our goal.
So with that being said, we've kind of hit on the 4 key areas, and I guess the question to the board is if there's anything that you would like to see built into the budget next year, or any new initiatives that you would like Ms. Sarator to look into. We'd like to hear from you now or very soon. The budget is going to start to come together pretty quickly.
Not
All right. So with that said, we'll see you on the 21st for the next budget presentation. As we always say to the public, if you have any questions, don't go to Facebook. Please give us a call, email us. We will get you the accurate information, even if it is the answer you would not like to hear. Yeah, we'll see you on March 21st. So thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm gonna do a public service announcement here.